Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to the I Need a Sports podcast. Your host with the most, Bryce. Got my dog Cam with me, and our guy Eric is hopped on the pod with us. First episode of 2025, man. I know it's been a while since we've seen you guys. It's nice to be back. It was good to be, back behind the mic, back at home. Had a nice little holiday break. Took a pretty big vacation. Was out for a couple weeks or so. Got back on Eric's pod earlier this week. Link will be in the description for that. Definitely go check it out. We gave a few wild card bets on his stuff. We'll be giving a few more out here. We're going to run through the whole 2024-25 NFL playoffs right here, right now. Give our predictions as we always do on a yearly basis. Cam, say what's up to the pod, man. Long time no see.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute. Glad to be back, man. Um, Texans, man. I don't know, man. It's not looking too good. We'll touch up on them, but yeah, no, man. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be back.
Sir, my guy Eric, thanks again for bringing me on the pod earlier this week. Welcome back to ours. How have you been?
I've been good, man. Always enjoy talking some ball with you guys. Things are coming on mine, and hopefully we can give everyone some winners going into this weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna definitely do that. We're gonna hop right into it. But as you know, like I said, we've been gone for like 3 weeks. I think the last week we did a podcast for was week 16. So you missed, a lot of football, but playoffs are sold up. Chiefs first place in the AFC, Lions first place in the NFC, Texans in at the fourth seed for Cam. Our guy Swan is not on. Our guy Chris is not on, but Swan's Eagles. He definitely has some stuff for me to say in place of him for his Eagles. No bias, as he likes to say. And Chris, he got what he wished for. Cowboys missed the playoffs. It's time to possibly start that rebuild. It's looking like McCarthy may or may not be gone. I don't know what Jerry's doing. Nobody knows what Jerry's doing. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. But yeah, man, after the 2024-25 NFL regular season, I want to start this pod off by asking you guys, what is your one takeaway or your biggest takeaway from this year's regular season? And how do you feel about, what that is and everything it entails?
Um, the new kickoff rule has definitely made a separation between the top teams and the bottom teams. Teams, instead of starting now on their 20, they're starting at the 30, 35. So, I mean, what is that, 20, 30 yards until they're in field goal range. So now it's making it for these better teams and more established offense easier to score. So in the past, where we've seen the lesser teams be able to hang around a little bit, these new kickoff rules are making it easier for the more established, better teams to score, and there's starting to be a little bit more separation this year as years previous.
No, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. I myself, I'm still trying to understand all of the facets of that rule and how it doesn't make it into the zone. You get the ball here. If it bounces in front of the zone and goes through the end zone, it's a touch. All the nuances of that. But I mean, I guess it's been okay. Obviously they did this primarily to crack down on injuries. But I mean, feel like it did take away some of the excitement of the kickoff, but we still had some, magical returns this year. So it's working out, I guess. But I mean, this is the norm, and it's here to stay, I'm sure. But yeah, that is a good point. It's kind of like an added, like skill gap, so to speak. Like how on the video games, like they add certain controls to make skill gaps for players. Like the more elite teams have,
Mhm.
are easier to adapt, and the lesser teams, you're right, they're not able to make up that difference, and it's able to separate teams. So we're left with 14 teams now. We're already here at the end of the year. Can't believe it's gone by this fast. But Cam, you got your takeaway, or you want you? I can give mine too, and you can go last. How you want to do it?
I give mine right now. My biggest takeaway is I do not like football on Christmas. Football should not be played on Christmas. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. I ain't gonna lie, they dominated Christmas. I feel like it's because like you have to watch it on Netflix, and like you can't like Like you have to go out the app to go to like the NBA games. So honestly, I didn't watch NBA at all Christmas Day. Like
Neither did I.
I like at all. By the time the Lakers came on, I was damn near asleep. If not, I was knocked out. So it was like I ain't gonna lie, football did dominate Christmas, but I do not like it on Christmas. Um, yeah, that's my
I don't like it at all either, and I get it. Like you said, because what was it? LeBron came out, was like, "Hey, I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day." But by
favorite.
the numbers, it was the NFL's day, and I get it. It's all about making money. But like you said, one, putting the damn thing on Netflix, it's like, dang, like we're getting to the point you have to have Prime, you have to have Sunday Ticket or Red Zone, and you have to have Netflix now to watch NFL football.
Yeah.
And Peacock as well, because there's some of the Peacock exclusives. One of the playoff games is going to be a Peacock exclusive this week. I think Ravens Steelers is on Prime
Yeah.
exclusively. It's ridiculous, and it's like you're pricing out the average fan, and like who wants to have to do all that? Why do I need 5 packages to watch one football game? And
Yeah.
it's just getting truly ridiculous, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. And then like some of these apps are starting to combine with each other now, so it's like, are we literally going from like, oh, we had all these different streaming platforms, and we got rid of cable, to bringing it back to, oh, we don't have cable anymore, but we got one super streaming platform to stream all this stuff. Because I was even seeing this week, I guess Hulu Plus Live Sports is pairing with Fubo Sports now under the Disney umbrella.
Wow.
It's money truly makes the world go around, man. And yeah, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I literally, I did not watch any basketball whatsoever, like not even a second of any game.
One
All my
second.
family, of course, we sat there, we watched the Chiefs Steelers. Luckily the Chiefs got a dub this year on Christmas. That's another thing. Like imagine, last year we lost on Christmas. Football is, I mean, I feel like for most of it, football more important than basketball. Your football team lose on Christmas. That's a bad Christmas.
That's
Last
a
year was
horrible Christmas.
last year was a bad Christmas, especially considering half of the gifts we all gave each other were related to the Chiefs, and we just watched us get our teeth kicked in by the Raiders. No, nobody. There were no words for like a solid 30 minutes after the game was over with in my grandma's house. But that, and then two, if they're gonna keep doing this, it now creates the kind of schedule conflict. This year, Christmas was on a Wednesday, so they had Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, Steelers literally play all of each other on the 21st, and then flip flop and play 4 days later on Christmas. No rest, dudes literally out there dying, getting injured left and right, and this is the league that is all about health. It truly doesn't make sense, man. But
Yes, man.
it's not gonna get better. It's not,
No,
especially
it's gonna get
because
worse.
the numbers are what they're only. I'm telling, next year it's not just gonna be Christmas. There's gonna be at least 2 weekends out the year that they make it Netflix exclusive, or like 2 games on at separate times, Netflix exclusive. Prime Video, I think, is gonna end up taking over more primetime games as well. It is going to be truly ridiculous. We're about to have football games played on literally every day of the week next year. It's already coming. The Chiefs literally played a game on every day of the week this week, but Tuesday. That's going to be a thing, I'm
That's
sure,
crazy.
at one point. And when dudes' ACLs are falling off the bone, then maybe Roger Goodell will listen. But right now, they're truly not listening whatsoever. So I agree with you right there on that one. As for me, my takeaway from this season, I think not like right away, but and it kind of depends on too how these playoffs go. I think we're about to see a reset of the quarterback market. These quarterbacks are getting paid. Was Dak just broke the market for 60 mil a year essentially? Obviously he wasn't having a great year up until he got injured. Tua got paid this year. See what happened with him. He's already injury prone as is, but he wasn't good. Trevor Lawrence got paid. He's been god awful. I think these owners are about to do what they just did to the running backs. Like, okay, we're not paying you guys 60 million unless you are the upper echelon of upper echelon, like the Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow. If you're not them, we're not giving you 60 mil a year. We're not making you the absolute, highest paid player in the league every time a new quarterback gets their contract. Because what's the point? You basically handicap your team. These quarterbacks aren't game changers, and then you're basically stuck in poverty for the next 3 years because you're so handicapped with cap space, and then you have to do a rebuild, and you're firing coaches. Coaches are getting fired left and right because you're paying the quarterback. I'm sorry. What just we got the Notre Dame Penn State playoff game live right now as we record. We're recording this, but this is going on currently. What just
No,
was
hands to
Wow,
the
hands to
face,
the face.
hands to the face? Dang,
like big time hands to the
big
Yeah.
time. Notre Dame at midfield with a minute left, tied 24 all. Is it y'all think is the kicker good enough to be able to handle
I'll
this?
tell you what, this Notre Dame voodoo has been insane in the playoffs. So I wouldn't surprise me if they're going to win somehow, man.
Oh, there goes Riley. I thought he was about to fall down in the for a sack
Oh no,
right there.
you're ahead of me. What happened?
Oh, he almost fell. He just scrambled for a couple yards, but he stumbled trying to back up out of the pocket. But yeah, I really think like you can't pay these dudes some of these dudes 60 million, and so like with the current quarterbacks up for pay, it's Brock Purdy, and then of course Sam Darnold's been making a lot of noise this year. But given how last week went with versus Detroit in the biggest moment of his career, he went back to the Sam Darnold we love and know. And if
Hmm.
he flops out in this playoff game, why pay him top dollar? Why pay Brock Purdy top dollar? Because when he didn't have his full Avenger squad, he wasn't able to produce this year. So I really think owners are about to take a step back and start paying these quarterbacks a little less until they truly, earn it.
Ooh.
And I mean, the only way you really earn that stuff is MVPs and Super Bowls. There's only a few quarterbacks right now that are getting all those. It's looking like Allen's probably about to get his first MVP unless Lamar pulls off the upset for his third. But other than that, these top 4 or 5 guys I named, none of these other quarterbacks really deserve or should be paid 60 million unless you truly want to handicap your team for 3 to 5 years in doing so. So I think that's my biggest takeaway for this NFL regular season, and I'm interested to see what the market ends up being this year. If the 49ers do choose to pay Brock Purdy, if Sam Darnold is able to sign some type of contract somewhere else that's kind of like in the Daniel Jones range of money for what the Giants wasted this year, and now he's on the Vikings. And then you got the new quarterbacks coming in. I mean, I don't know who necessarily is the top quarterback pick. It was Shador during the season. Now that the season's over, there's scouts saying they don't see NFL talent with him. I know some people have their questions about Cam Ward. It's a big issue in the league, and I think we're about to see some regression in terms of paying the QBs.
And I mean, I think the thing is like the last weekend, one thing that really stood out to me was Milton. Milton played great. Obviously, if I'm a team that needs a quarterback, like if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I would probably pick Carter, the kid from Penn State, to help the defense, offensive lineman Williams or Travis Hunter. Then I would ship a fourth round to get Milton. In my eyes, Milton is better than Ward or Sanders. I'd look to do that. The Watson contract obviously didn't help that at all, just because we've seen like when these older guys get an elbow injury, they haven't been the same. And that's what Purdy has. So the 49ers are kind of, do they try to go someplace else or what? And I think I'm always a big actions speak louder than words type of guy. For the Vikings to bring in Daniel Jones says a lot to me, and basically tells me I don't think Sam Darnold's there next year. I think
Yeah,
they're going to have Jones be the guy until McCarthy comes back from his injury.
yeah. And I mean, the only way Darnold does stay is if he forces their hand to like keep him. So that obviously means he's got to go on a crazy run this playoffs, which I don't see happening. And like you said, they brought Daniel Jones in for a reason. Yeah, you just simply can't pay him what the market is saying right now. So it's definitely going to have to be an adjustment. And I know the 49ers claim up and down, that they love Brock Purdy, but I just don't know. Like I'm not even saying Brock Purdy's a bad quarterback because he's not. He's a good quarterback. He's decent, but in order to pay him 60 million, he has to win when he doesn't have everything stacked together for him. If Debo, C Mac, Kittle, if one of those is out and your performance dips as much as it does for him,
Yeah.
you can't afford to pay him 60 million. And maybe he doesn't even demand that. Maybe he tries to take I guess, a QB friendly deal in today's market, maybe around like 40 to 45 million on average. But I feel like that's what it's got to be, and I feel like that's what a lot of these quarterbacks are going to get. I don't think there's going to be any quarterback this year that signs a max contract and resets what Dak just did, especially given how Dak performed once he got his money. And look at the Cowboys now. McCarthy probably out of there. Um, they didn't improve anything in the offseason. They didn't sign any big pieces. And their season results showed that they did just that. Didn't make any real move to be all in, as Jerry put it. So definitely interested to see how the market is moving forward. 33 seconds, Penn State with the ball. Can they make any magic happen?
Dude, I'm telling you, this is Notre Dame voodoo needs to be studied, man.
Wait, did he just throw an interception?
This Notre Dame voodoo needs to be studied.
Wow.
Like,
Oh my
where are you
God.
throwing that to right there?
And that's why I don't necessarily see what the hype is about Drew Allen or Alar, however you say it. That's crazy. Like, I get it. You want to go for the win, but you didn't have to force anything there. You could just take it to overtime or live to see another down. Luck of the Irish, they say. Maybe it's their year. Easiest playoff path. 20 million in earnings all to them when they win the championship. Yeah, that's definitely a catch too. Unless something this other angle shows something you can't see.
No, he caught that.
Yeah, no, his hands are under. That's a catch. Oh my god.
Right in field goal range, man.
Whew,
That's tough.
that is tough. Oh man. But before we get into the playoff predictions, one last topic. Wanted to ask y'all, who do you feel is one player or coach that would gain the most from an excellent playoff run, and which player or coach would lose the most from a bad playoff performance or run? And I'll kick it to you first as the guest, Eric. You can say bad or good first up. Doesn't matter to me. But what are you feeling like here?
I mean, I think it's the same person for both. I think Dan Campbell has the most to gain and the most to lose, because if he wins it, this guy's set in Detroit for life. He will be their coach. He can probably have 3 losing seasons in a row, and he would still be their coach. He is going to get a statue in front of Ford Field. Never buy a meal again. He is a god in Detroit. Now, if he loses it, the reality of the situation is that not one, but both offensive and defensive coordinator are going to be gone. And we've seen the step back that Philadelphia took after they made their Super Bowl run and they lost it, and Gannon and Sirianni both left. So I think in my eyes, Campbell's got the most to lose, because he's going to go from winning it and being the king of Detroit to losing it. And if he doesn't make it, down year next year, down year after that, because maybe another down year after that. And then there's going to be rumblings. Do we need to move on from him? So, yeah, I think Campbell's got the most to lose and most to gain.
That's a good one. That's good, man. Hey, I mean, you are the resident Detroit fan, so straight from the source right there. I guess if it doesn't work out this year, do you believe, like, even though they might do what you just said, do you believe he's earned, some patience for what he's just done to turn around the culture? Or at that point, is it, in your opinion, like maybe he's not the one who gets you over the hump, but he gets you close to
I mean,
it?
after last year, like, it was so disappointing last year. They had every opportunity to win that game. And I know Aaron Glenn's a hot coaching commodity. The fact he wasn't fired after that game, that defensive collapse in that second half, was always mind-blowing to me. And maybe Campbell's the guy that just gets you right there, but you need that next guy to bring you over the hump. So I don't know. I think this is gonna, if the Lions don't win it this year, I don't think they're gonna win it for a while.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, these Super Bowl windows are very, very short. And if you don't capitalize, it can slip away just like that. That's what the Bengals are feeling right now. Because according to them in 2021, this window was going to be open forever and they were going to be a dynasty. And now they missed the playoffs 2 years in a row and all hell is breaking loose, because the Chiefs sold the game versus Denver because they were scared of them. You know how it works. But, Kim, what about you? Who do you think has the most to gain or lose from a good or bad playoff run this year?
I mean, I got both of the same or whatever. Most to gain and most to lose. I got two people though. Um, my bad. I was watching this play. All right. Yeah, I got two people, and there are two players. And two are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I say these two because it's the race to number two. I feel like it's the race to the second best quarterback in the league. Um, I mean it's out of them two right now in the playoffs. So, for Josh Allen, this would be pretty big if he if he ends up winning the Super Bowl or whatever. Because I don't know, he might not get MVP this year because of how Lamar played or whatever. So now if Josh Allen does get go on a run to the Super Bowl and wins it, I think that'd be like people would probably start talking of him like even more highly than what they do now.
Oh,
Um,
for if he wins it, they're gonna run with he is the best quarterback they've ever seen. It's just he's that much of the media's fanboy of Bills mom. If Bills win the Super Bowl this year, they're building a new stadium that opens in 26. Josh Allen will have a statue
I
at
can
that
definitely see that.
stadium at the opening. He will still be playing football. He will have a statue outside that stadium if he is able to break the Bills Super Bowl curse and bring them their first Lombardi.
Yeah, like I said, I can definitely see that.
Is
Um,
there? Sorry,
you guys, no, you got it.
no, go ahead.
Um, he's also though he also has a lot to lose, like also most to lose, whatever. But this has to be the year for him because I mean everybody's high on him. The media is high on the Bills. They're high on Josh Allen right now. Oh, he's Superman. Look what Josh Allen is doing. He's doing this. He's doing that.
He doesn't have
Um,
anybody.
he doesn't have anybody. Look who he's throwing to. His number one receiver is Shakir, whatever dude name is, whatever. But everybody's saying all this and that. He better not lose. He better not lose, man, because he should be labeled a loser if he does not go like on a run.
He should be, but they won't do it. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, I think we talked about this a little on the Airs pod earlier this week, but like I think people just conflate like Josh Allen's 2021 playoff run with his whole history of his playoff play. Like
Yeah.
2021 was truly magical for him. No knocking it. He played some of the best playoff football ever. Now that just so happened to be he ran into the dynasty Chiefs and Mahomes got him with the little 13 seconds game. But Josh Allen played a flawless game and he played a perfect game the game before that and beating the Patriots and Mac Jones. But other than that, oh look, I'm sorry. Yeah, this am I ahead of y'all? The kick have they hyped
He's
it
Not,
like,
yet?
no,
yeah.
not
They're
yet.
about to.
He just liked it.
Did he
Oh,
make it?
okay. Yeah, he did. He did. It was looking like it might go right at first, and it curved
This,
back in.
I'm telling you, man. Like this Notre Dame voodoo, man.
Dang.
Like that first game against Indiana, you take out that 98-yard run, they had 180 yards of total offense. They beat freaking Georgia on those two plays, the strip sack and the 90-yard return fumble with 230 yards.
Yeah.
Penn State was dominating this first half. They scored a touchdown when a DB fell down. It's just one of those years, man. Like they were like TCU was that year they got boat raced by Georgia. Literally every single bounce is going their way.
Mm-hmm.
Luck of the Irish. Maybe it is their year. That's crazy. man. But yeah, like I was saying, like other than the 2021 playoff run, Josh Allen has not been a perfect, playoff player. Like Bills fans love to be like, well, you can't count his first year, his rookie year. The year he lost to y'all, Cam in Houston, where he like y'all they were winning, and then he started
Yeah,
doing
it's
stupid
like,
stuff. That infamous play where he like tried to lateral it and throw it backwards,
yeah,
and almost had a huge turnover. And they're like, oh, he was a rookie. Okay, well, if you can't count rookie games, don't count Lamar's rookie playoff game either, where he didn't even play all year. He stepped into the starting position because Flacco was about to lose them the season, and he saved it. And then he had a bad playoff game. But it's like, no, all that stuff counts. All that matters. Sure, he was a rookie. It was his first time, but that's no excuse. And then the year he that really got him some notoriety, the COVID year, where he played pretty decently, but that's the year he made it to the AFC Championship game, and we blew them out. I think the final score was 38 to like 24 or something, but the game truly wasn't that close. That we were blowing them out, and the game before that, like I said, Baltimore Buffalo feuding, for the past month and a half over this MVP stuff. Buffalo fans love to bring up that playoff game. They beat Lamar. The score was 10-3, headed with like 5 minutes in the third when Lamar made that turnover and got hurt and knocked out the game. Josh Allen wasn't playing well either. That was just a bad offensive game from both sides of it. But he gets credit for that. And then, you know, 21 happens. Okay, he plays flawless, but he loses. I've never seen someone get more credit for a loss. 2022, he got absolutely waxed by the Bengals at home with the 2 seed. Joe Burrow went into Buffalo and beat him 27-10. And then fast forward to flashback to last year, he gets a home playoff game versus Mahomes, which that's what they said all along is, oh, it's just because Buffalo is always at Arrowhead. They're never at home. Once they get the home game, they'll beat the Chiefs. They didn't. They lose that one, and it's like, well, his kicker and Diggs missed this and that. They'll make every excuse in the book for him, truly.
mhm.
And I just don't know. I don't know what it will take, but I just know, like I said, keep that same energy, Buffalo fans. Y'all been talking so much, all this shit. He gotta win it. He's gotta win it. Because if not, oh, if the media won't do it, I'll do it myself. I'll be the biggest hater for Bills Mafia, man. But yeah, I definitely agree there. Yeah, and that's final. Notre Dame 27, Penn State 24. Notre Dame to the national. I would have never ever, especially starting off the year with the loss to what was it, Northern Illinois? Is that
Yeah,
who?
bro.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
That's crazy. Like,
That Aller throw is a perfect ending for his broke ass, man. Across the field. That was just so bad.
Yeah, and
And
he didn't
everyone
have
was
to
over on
do
their
it.
side. Singleton could have run.
He didn't
Dude,
even
he
have
dropped
to
a
do it.
touchdown pass at the beginning of the game, too. Man, weird. Voodoo, man. It's the voodoo.
It is the voodoo. It is the voodoo. But I know you were in the middle of your stuff, Cam. I know you. What is it for Lamar, man?
oh yeah, Lamar also. I mean, pretty much same thing. Like I said, race for number two. He also has the most to gain. He might get another MVP this year. He should be in the run. Well, he definitely will be in the running. So yeah, he might get another MVP. And if he on top of, if he can go on a run to the Super Bowl and win that thing, got to be talking about Lamar a little bit more differently than
I say it all the time. He's the one person that if he were to pull it off, he truly has an argument, given his accolades,
mhm,
to be up there with Mahomes. It still won't be Mahomes, but he's the closest thing to it. It's just the playoffs. Truly, it is what it is. I could try to defend it every which way, but that's what I'm saying. All these quarterbacks need to get held to the same standard. He doesn't perform, he doesn't get the job done. Now his, statistically speaking, is worse, even worse than Allen. So yeah, he deserved, you know, a little more criticism there. But at the end of the day, none of these guys are winning. So they all deserve it. Because you can't say all year, regular season, every year, they're the best, they got the best team. They do this and that. And come playoff time, they fall short. to the player that is the best, you don't get that title.
He
Like
ain't gonna get a title.
that's what comes with the territory, man. So hey, maybe Lamar can finally be the year. I mean, they seem to be, hitting the right momentum at the right time. Defense is balling out these last 5 or 6 weeks. Obviously, Lamar and the offense have been doing their thing all year. If it wasn't for the Josh Allen narrative and the Bills, it's easily Lamar's third MVP. But I think they got Lamar fatigue and they've just been dying to give Josh Allen an MVP, even though he necessarily doesn't deserve it over Lamar this year, in my humble opinion. But yeah, Lamar, he wins a Super Bowl. Oh, the apologies need to be louder than the criticisms. I'll say that much because there's been a lot of criticisms every year since he's come into this league. So
For sure.
as for me, I feel like the one who has the most to lose is actually on the NFC side, and it's not a player, it's a coach. I feel like Nick Sirianni has the most to lose because it's not even necessarily all his fault, but we all know how Philly is in their fan base. Dude led him to Super Bowl literally 2 years ago, and after the way last year flamed out, they were calling for his job then. This year, you have the great season you've had. You had the addition of Saquon. The defense has been really good. If you don't have a deep playoff run, and really with the way Philly fans are, it really gotta be Super Bowl or bust. But like if you don't at least make it to the Super Bowl, make it to the NFC Championship, I think his job might be gone. Especially just given some of his antics too. We know he's not the most mature coach with some of the stuff he does on the sidelines during games, during press conferences, just talking to people. I think if it ends bad, like if they get waxed, like the Cowboys got waxed by the Packers last year on their home turf, Sirianni's job is gone. Like the Eagles fans will literally call for his job, and I think he might be out of a job. As for the most to gain, yeah, like I'm with you. It's got to be Lamar. He's got the two MVPs. He's got all the regular season success in the world. It is simply just the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, something just doesn't work. And honestly, the more you look at it, it might not ever work. And you want and but that in saying that doesn't mean he doesn't win a Super Bowl. You want to know how?
How?
I think he really is this generation's Peyton Manning. If you look at Peyton Manning's playoff stats, he's 14-13 in his whole career. He's got the two Super Bowls, but he's never had an excellent playoff run ever. Even when he won the Super Bowl, his first one, he threw 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He just made the plays that year when they needed to be made. That second Super Bowl, we all know he was literally on his last legs, and Denver's defense carried him. He's got the two Super Bowl losses and then all the playoff chokes, the years he was winning the MVPs. He's truly never been a great playoff performer, but he finally got over the hump. He got the trophy. So the way people regard him, given his regular season, because it was never a question regular season wise. You'll ask anybody today, if you ask someone to name their 5 top QBs of all time, Peyton Manning is on that list. But that's primarily from his regular season accolades and how he played there and the fact that he has a couple Super Bowls. But if you go look at the playoff runs themselves, he never played good whatsoever.
Yeah.
At all. And it's very funny and ironic. His brother was the exact opposite. Eli Manning is the most average regular season quarterback ever. But when he made the playoffs, he turned in to the Tom Brady killer and literally wild card the Super Bowl twice. So I really think Lamar, and he said it earlier this week, he was saying like sometimes he feels like he just gets, I guess, a little anxious in these playoff games. He just needs to calm down, breathe and stuff. They say he kind of gets nervous with the moment. Like, yeah, you can do stuff to work on that. You meditate, whatever. Like, but some of that stuff, it's just got to be in you. Like, when it comes to the sports, like that's what separates some of the greats from the Hall of Famers and stuff like that. It's just in you. Like, you're just naturally clutch. You show up in the biggest moments. I don't know if Lamar is ever gonna truly have that undisputed, unquestioned playoff run with his play. But given the Ravens, team, their roster makeup, one of these years, I think he will get it done. It's just gonna be he makes some of the plays when he needs to finally, and the rest of the team picks him up where he lacks. I think that's what we're gonna see there. So if he's able to do something this year, even if it's not the prettiest, if he gets the Super Bowl though, like I said, the apologies had to be louder than the criticism because he did it. He got that's what they've been saying he can't do. If he doesn't do it in the prettiest way, tell them, okay, Peyton Manning cannot be a top 5 quarterback. I hope that's not how you feel if you feel like Lamar isn't after he's able to pull off a Super Bowl run. So that's who I feel has the most to lose in Sirianni and the most to gain in Lamar Jackson.
I have a
All right.
crazy stat about the Ravens. So since the Super Bowl started, there has been 17 teams that committed 130 penalties or more that made the playoffs. Of those 17 teams, there's only been one that made it to the Super Bowl, and that was the Seahawks the year when they didn't give the ball to Marshawn and Russell threw the ball and the Patriots intercepted it. Ravens have 132 penalties this year.
Yeah, duh.
I didn't know that, so that's a good one.
Interesting little stat.
Have you seen what they've been saying as a good stat for them?
The 12-year one?
Yeah, the 12-year one, the fact that Joe Flacco won it when he was 28, Dilfer when he was 28, and is back in New Orleans the last time they won it with Flacco. Lamar, 28, just turned 28 this past week. Super Bowl is in New Orleans, Super Bowl 59. I don't know, man. I can see it, but I can also not see it. Like, I can see them winning the Super Bowl this year, and I can also see them somehow losing this playoff game to the Steelers, all in the same. You just truly don't know what you're going to get with them come playoff time. And it scares me a little bit with the fact that, Zay Flowers is out this week. That was confirmed earlier today. So that's a big loss for them. And hey, Lamar means you got to do even more now. Can't be the playoff Lamar we've seen so far. He's got to step it up a notch. But maybe he can finally get over the hump that this year. With that being said, though, let's truly hop into these playoff predictions. Let's see who we have winning the Super Bowl this year, man. Starting off with the first game, Cam. I didn't even realize until they said it once the schedule came out. Saturday 4:30 playoff game. Why is that the Texans slot for every single playoff game they make, no matter what seed they are? As long as they're in the wild card, every year they play on the Saturday at this time.
Same Saturday, same time, every single wild card game. It's actually amazing, and they do this with the Astros also. Like will be like the first game, like the not prime time. Like bro, like Houston deserves Houston could be a prime time like games, bro. Like it don't matter, bro. Like I don't know why they be treating us like this, but that's whatever.
So how do you think how do your Texans get it done? Or are you not that optimistic and you think Steelers are able to pull it off? Does Russ cook y'all? Does CJ Stroud bounce back? How does this one play out in your mind?
Well, everyone's counting us out. I don't get it personally, but maybe that's just the bias in me. But I don't. I just don't see. I don't see the Chargers like beating us. Like I just can't see it. Like it's at home. It's in NRG. We play real good at home. Whatever. I know we haven't been looking good these past couple of games. Whatever. But you know, once playoffs come, I mean, more times than not, we do win our. We usually win our wild card game. Then second round we get built to ass. So, yeah, no. So I think it's gonna be a Joe Mixon game. I think we'll have to lean on him. The defense gonna have to get what's his name Justin Herbert routed or whatever. We're gonna have to stop the run game. This is gonna be like I think our first time this season having like pretty much everybody on defense healthy. Well, the front seven healthy. Um, everybody on D line, and then we got Christian Harris and Aziz now on the same field. So the defense should be good. Like I said, just need to stop the run. Got to get Herbert rattled a bit or whatever. I can't talk. And then Joe Mixon, got to lean on him on the offensive side. I see us winning. I don't know about you. I see us winning.
Okay. Look, I'm with it. I'm with it. So I'm gonna share a couple bets I have on this game. This first one I gave this out on Eric's pod earlier this week, but I'm rocking with the under. I got it at under 42 and a half. I mean, both teams, y'all are kind of limping into the playoffs on the offensive side of the ball. Chargers, by points per game. I'm not saying it's really, I don't think they're really the best defense in the league, but if you go off points per game, yielded, they're the number one defense in the league. And then, like you said, first week, y'all's front seven is healthy. Y'all have one of the best front sevens in all of the league on defense. I think y'all should be able to get pressure to Herbert. Y'all are also, top 12 both in covering wide receiver one, wide receiver two. Whether you want to argue that's McConkey or Johnston, whoever, I think y'all be able to shut both them down relatively, not let them, go off or anything. So I think it's going to be a game literally one in the trenches. Harbaugh wants to control the clock. Y'all are going to be running it with Mixon. And so it's just going to be a grinded out game. I think it ends around like 17-14. And home unders this year at NRG, 7-1. That's the best mark in the NFL, and y'all are 18-8 on unders over the last 3 seasons. That's the second best mark in the league behind my Chiefs. And then, like I said, y'all are, I think I got the stats right here. Versus number one wide receivers, y'all are 12th in DVOA. Number two, y'all are 4th versus tight ends, or 4th versus tight ends, and 6th versus number one wide receivers, 12th versus number two wide receivers. Y'all should be able to shut down that passing game, Justin Herbert. And then as for the Chargers, like I said, best points per game for their defense. I think this game is extremely low scoring, but I'm with you. I can't bring myself to believe the Chargers are going to win a playoff game. I just simply have to see it to believe it. And the fact that y'all are home and they're giving us points and y'all are an underdog, I got y'all at +3. And I'm really expecting y'all, to win just straight up outright. But if I can lock it in at +3 as a home underdog for a wild card, definitely give me that. This will be the Chargers' 3rd consecutive game on the road this week. It went from New England to Las Vegas to now Houston. Since 2003, teams who are on their 3rd game or later of any road trip, 39% straight up, and 5-12 straight up the last 3 seasons. And when this game is played in the playoffs, that percentage drops to 29% straight up or worse in the last 19 seasons. So while the Chargers, culture's changed, Harbaugh's, got everything rocking over there, I just don't see it happening. And if y'all are able to put some pressure on them, who's to say the Chargers don't charge it, as they always do? And I get it. Herbert is an immense talent at quarterback. But what's the one thing that always happens with their fans? If this, if that, if this, if that. Ain't no ifs in the playoffs, man. You either get it done or you don't. I've seen CJ get it done in the wild card, where he was an underdog to Cleveland last year. And y'all put 45 on their head and blew him out. I'm not saying that's going to happen this game, but I've seen it. I've seen, CJ step up to the plate. And I know y'all haven't been on the best footing offensively speaking the last month or so, but y'all can do enough versus this Chargers team, I think, to truly, get the win. And then my last bet here is I got y'all first half ML. And partially this is from you and the stats back and prove it. What do you always say, Kim? Y'all one of the best first half teams in the league. It's the second half that trips y'all up. Y'all are feeling slighted, underdog at home for the playoff game. If I can get y'all ML for literally -105 in the first half, and y'all are 13-4 against the spread in the first half under D'Amico Ryan since he's been head coach, and 25-9 first half against the spread with CJ Stroud at quarterback since he's taken over, give me that all day. expect y'all to come out fired up. I expect y'all to jump on the Chargers early. And then second half, that's where I don't know. Can I trust y'all? So I got the +3. But first half, I think y'all can definitely win it about like 10-3, 10-7, something along those lines. So those are my bets for that game. I do have the Texans winning, but I'm just gonna play safe. I'll bet the +3 straight up. Bet ML first half, and I got the total under for the game.
I like
I
it.
mean, I bet the Texans +3, 2, along with your straight up percentages, teams, ATS percentage 48%, 30 on the road. To me, I just think it's a good thematical matchup for the Texans. Chargers run the ball 10th highest rate in the league. The whole offense is based on this to be able to set up the play action pass, fourth most play action passes attempted this year, and the Texans are number 1 DVOA defending the run, top 10 DVOA, top 10 in the league defending play action. So I think this is just a great matchup for what the Texans like to do. Since week 10, Chargers defense has been 18th EPA. Stroud splits are better at home than on the road. Home favorites in the wild card, 45% ATS. We got a low total over the key number 3. I really like that angle for the Texans. Pipkins, they're one of their guards for the Chargers, got banged up. That's going to hurt their production. And the end of the day, you guys were talking about it. I'm all about buying low, selling high. I'm hearing people on social media say that the Broncos have a better chance of winning than the Texans do. I have people having the Chargers beating the Chiefs. I think this is basically a pick 'em. I get a team at home. I get it to fade a team on their third straight road game. So I'm on the Texans +3.
I like it. I like it. Hey man, so we're all Houston fans this weekend, Kim. We riding with you. So
Yeah.
hey, don't let us down. I'm gonna be at CJ's door.
I'm gonna be at the game too, bro.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah, I
be
was gonna say,
uh,
yeah.
I'm gonna be there. Hopefully, they don't break my heart, man. We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
We're gonna see. As for the second game on the Saturday slate, the night game, we got Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Well, this is another game I know me and Eric are betting on from talking with him on his pod. Cam, who you got in this one and why?
I got Ravens Steelers. I think it's gonna be built to ass. Ravens gonna built to ass the Steelers. Um, I just think they're just a better team. Steelers just been on a decline past couple games or whatever. I Russ just doesn't look good at all or whatever. Pickens kind of losing his mind. So they got all that going on. I think that defense is kind of low key, kind of overrated now. Like looking at it, like now, like just watching them against like good teams. But yeah, I think Lamar and Derrick Henry is going to be too much for them to handle. I know Zay going to be out, but it shouldn't really matter like that much. As long as they got those 2 tight ends, whatever, they should be fine. Yeah, I got the Ravens in this.
Okay, so the spread on that one, right as it sits right now, I'm looking on ESPN at least it's -9.5 Baltimore. You think they covering that? Because you said built to ass.
Yeah, I think they're gonna cover that.
Okay. Hey, Eric, I think if you want, you might have another beer bet on your hands if you want. Go ahead. I'm passing to you.
I'm all about the beer bet. I like the Steelers here. I got them at +10. Divisional dogs in the playoffs, 61.5% ATS. Wild card round, 63.5. Tomlin post and regular season combined 63% ATS as a dog. When he plays Harbaugh, 13-3-2 as a dog. However, this is the first time they met in the playoffs. Watt is good to go, which is huge. He was banged up last game. He's coming off the first game in his career where he had a 0 stat line. So literally 0 stats. Zay Flowers is out. This is going to hurt the Ravens. He is the first read in the offense. With Jackson struggling for his career against the Steelers, this isn't good. When we just look at this season alone, he's only averaging 207 yards per game passing. Now, if Flowers isn't there, this is going to hurt their passing game. They're going to be able to load the box to stop Henry. And look, last game I knew he ran for a buck 60, but that was the first game that he ran for over 76 yards against a Steelers defense, only averaging 81.8 yards per game against the Steelers. Jackson struggles as a favorite of 3 or more, only 45% against the number. Ravens, that 132 penalties this season. I think that's going to be able to extend some drives. Low total of 45, high point spread of 10 takes me to the dog. I just think the Steelers are going to be able to run the ball, come up the game, limit it. I think the Ravens probably win it, but by like 3 or 4. So I'm on the Steelers plus the 10.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm also against you, man. Like Eric says, when you get Tomlin as a dog, you got to back it. You got to play it. I got Steelers at plus 10 as well. I also forgot to say I have them in a teaser with their plus 10 and the Texans Chargers under paired together. So it's plus 16 and under 48.5 there for that little teaser. It's another one. That's a kind of money line go special that I put in. But yeah, man, for everything Eric just said, as well as Tomlin 6-1 against the spread as a dog of more than 3 points versus the Ravens in his tenure versus the Ravens as a franchise. Steelers are 8-1 against the spread when they're underdog of 4 or more points. Lamar, while he's 80% straight up, best win percentage of any quarterback with minimum of 50 starts during night games. In the playoffs, he's 0-2 straight up during night games. Now, I still think Baltimore wins this. I just think, given the fact this is a divisional opponent, third time they're playing, they just played literally 3 weeks ago. And even though Baltimore won by 17, that game was much closer until Russ fumbled the ball in the red zone and the Steelers were about to go up. I think, like Eric said, the fact that Zay Flowers is now going to be out, that adds a little bit more difficulty for the Ravens on the offensive side of the ball. Factor in that, hey, I want to believe Lamar can fix it and get it turned around, but we just never seen it. Even last year versus your Texans, Kim, he struggled much of that first half before he got it going in the second half. I just think the Steelers make this a dogfight. I don't think they're able to pull it out, but I do think they're able to cover the plus 10 fairly easily. And let's see if when the pressure comes on, if Lamar can respond. If he can, more power to him. But I had to go with the trends here, and I gotta fade it. And he, much like the Chargers, I just have to see it to believe it. I want to believe it so bad for Lamar. I'm a Lamar fan. I'm rooting for him. I've said for the last 2 years, my Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl. I'm rooting for Lamar to win it. My Chiefs have won it. If we can't win it this year, I'm rooting for Lamar again, unless he plays us and he's got to go through us. But yeah, I just got to see it, man. So I'm on the Steelers plus 10 as well. As for the Sunday slate headed into wild card weekend, we got the first matchup on Sunday, the 12 o'clock game. Me and Eric actually got a nice little beer bet on this one. I'll let Eric start off with this one. Broncos at the Bills. Bo Nix, quarterback Sean Payton versus McDermott and Allen in Highmark Stadium. How do you see this one playing out, Eric?
I took the Bills minus 8.5. Quarterbacks making their first start in the playoffs against a quarterback that already has a playoff start. 1937-1. That's 34%. 7 seeds in the playoffs. 3-5 ATS in the wild card round. Since 2010, teams laying 8.5 or more. 67% ATS. When we look at home favorites, it's 77% ATS. When we just kind of look at the Broncos this season, when they've played a team with a winning record, then we take out the Chiefs game, 1-7 with a negative 47-point differential when they play teams with a winning record. Van Joseph's teams historically have struggled with a mobile quarterback. They struggle defending the middle of the field. That's where Shakir lives, leads the Bills in targets, reception, and yards. Last time a rookie won on the road in the playoffs, Wilson in 2013. Bills' second best team in terms of red zone efficiency. So when I lay a big number like this, I want a team that's going to be able to score some points, score some tutties. Also, I just think it's a great matchup for the Bills defensively. Zone-heavy scheme. Nick's 31st yards per pass against zone, 25th success rate, 24th EPA against zone. And also his interception rate is 3.3%. It's just a bad matchup. He really struggles against zone defense. So I'm on the Bills minus 8.5.
Yep, yep. Like I said, y'all, we got a beer bet. I am on the Broncos plus 9.5. So we actually got a nice little unique opportunity here. They could end if the game ends on 9 and we both win and we both cash out. But for the beer bet itself, we just cut it right there at 9 down the middle. See who covers, and that'll be how that's decided. But yeah, I got Denver keeping this one under 9.5. I still think Buffalo wins it, but I just think Broncos defense can present some opportunities to kind of aid their offense in this game. Maybe slow down Josh Allen a bit. Benito in that pass rush, maybe they'll be the ones to finally get through. I know Josh Allen has only been sacked like 15 times this year, one of the fewest times. I think top 10 in over the last 20 years or so in the league. So if they're able to create some type of pressure, maybe rattle him a bit, maybe you could get Josh Allen to give you a turnover, which he hasn't been prone to doing in the playoffs recently. But I think Broncos could cover. And then I got a nice little funny stat I saw today, Eric, more back in this. Apparently, I don't know who finds these stats or how you figure this stuff out. Apparently, Sean Payton in his career is 22-10 versus coaches with a bald head. So
Yeah.
versus Sean McDermott, bald head. I'm rolling with Sean Payton here. Last year, Denver was able to go into Buffalo on Monday night with Russell Wilson and upset them. Obviously, I know two different teams, whole different quarterback. Josh Allen playing way better, but I think Sean Payton, given his experience, and you even heard McDermott talking about it a little today in one of his press conferences, like they never, he was just saying simply the franchise doesn't get it done in these moments. Like obviously they want that to change, but just knowing that that's in the back of your mind, if Denver is able to keep this even remotely close, those nerves start to sink in. McDermott is prone to always tighten up in these games, not call the games as they're supposed to anymore, kind of play not to lose instead of play to win here. I think Sean Payton might be able to put some pressure on him, have a few things up his sleeve, and I think they can cover this plus 9.5. But I will say this: is either Denver keeps this game close or they get blown out by 30. It's no in between. So I'm hoping they cover the plus 9.5. But if they don't, they're getting absolutely mollywopped this weekend by Buffalo, and it'll be like a 42-14 type game. That's what it'll be if they don't cover this plus 9.5. So that being said, Cam, who do you have in this one and why?
I got the Bills in this one, but I think it's gonna be closer than what people think. You know, this game is gonna be. Um, I think the Bills is gonna be just too much for them. Though. I think Josh Allen um is gonna make winning plays down the stretch to give Bills the win. But I can definitely see like the Broncos defense giving you know could give them problems or whatever, but I don't think they will. Um, but I like I said, I think it's going to be a very close game. So yeah, but I think the Bills gonna win though.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. As for the second game on a Sunday slate, man, we don't have Swan here to talk about it, but y'all know who he's got in this one. We got the Packers at the Eagles. And maybe y'all have more information than I have as of right now. But the last thing I heard is Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol.
He's playing. They announced he is playing.
He's playing. I'm still a little worried with that. I don't know. Like, I thought, like, if the fact he was even in it for 2 weeks, not just 1 week, kind of brings me some cause for concern. And he's been limited in practice because of that, because you can't practice when you're in the protocol. I'm I got the Packers plus 4.5 here, and I got them winning this game. Like I think I know the whole Packers have not played well against winning teams this year. They've only got one divisional win, same as Chicago, but I think it's gonna. I'm not saying they're gonna do exactly the same, but I think the same way they walked into Dallas last year and played their best football, they're about to do the same thing to Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts is gonna be rusty. Jalen Hurts still hasn't really proven that he's a good playoff performer. Ironically enough, the only really great playoff game he's ever had is in the Super Bowl, but of course that was a loss. Other than that, he's never really performed. He's only got those two playoff wins in that Super Bowl run. Every other year he's been it, he's bowed out in the wild card round, and it hasn't been pretty. And then LaFleur is 27-12 straight up, 25-14 against the spread when facing an opponent after losing to them in the previous matchup. This was the first game of the season between these two out in Brazil. Eagles won by 4 in that one. Jordan Love played pretty bad and he got hurt at the end. I know he's a bit banged up coming into this week, but he's good to go. Unfortunately, the Packers did lose Christian Watson, so that's kind of a big hit to them. But I think Josh Jacobs and company can still get it done. Jaden Reed, Dews, Dontavian Wicks, they'll find a way. And when LaFleur is listed as a road underdog in a revenge spot, he's 9-2 against the spread, covering it in 7 consecutive games. So, and as an underdog in the wild card and divisional round, LaFleur's 2-0 against the spread. I think LaFleur is going to coach circles around Sirianni this week. And like I said, if that happens and the Eagles lose this game, I think Sirianni probably doesn't have a job by the end of the week in Philly. I think it will cause that much outrage given the fact Philadelphia has had such a good year, and for it to flame out like that. And then last year they were having a good year and then flamed out and didn't do anything in the playoffs. It's just going to be very hard for that fan base and franchise if they don't have playoff success this year. And like I've been saying all season long, and we said it on the LJ's ladder, like the Packers are a team I would hate to see in the wild card round because they could, literally sell you the game and you get the win, or they play the most perfect football you've ever seen, and now you're headed home wondering, wow, we just really lost to Jordan Love and the Packers. How? So I think it might be one of those games for Green Bay. What about you, Cam?
Yeah, I got Green Bay in this one. Jalen Hurts has given me no reason to believe in him in the playoffs. I think the same thing's going to happen. I think he's going to nut up in the playoffs. I think Jordan Love is um, um, a baller when it comes to to playoff games, whatever. I think he's going to go into Philly and he's going to. He's going to win it. I think he's going to beat them. So I got the Packers in that.
Okay. And finishing it with you, Eric, who do you have in this one, and what if any bets on it?
I mean, for me as a better, I'm definitely going to take the Packers. I think the line is going to probably move a little bit with our news that Hurts is going to play. Eagles will look to control the clock, run the ball, but when we look at the Packers, they were 7th DVOA defending the run. When they played teams that were top 10 DVOA rushing the ball, they only allowed 114 yards per game. I just think this is a good matchup for them. Their weakness is the middle of the field. Hurts really only throws it to the outside. Middle of the field is going to be open, but they don't take advantage of it. LaFleur has been good in revenge games, 25-14 ATS on the road. He's 9-2. Eagles have played the second easiest schedule this season, so I feel their stats are a little misleading, a little more skewed. Packers, I feel, are a little more battle tested. I think the Packers have the coaching advantage. I think those numbers are a little inflated because of how they looked against the Bears and with the whole Love elbow situation. I like the Packers here. I think the Packers are going to be able to move the ball and limit what the Eagles want to do. I think this is a field goal game.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was able to get the Packers at +4.5, so even more than a field goal, even half over, more than 4. I think they'll definitely keep this close. And like I said, I got them winning straight up, not betting that. I'll just take the points with the spread. But yeah, I think the Packers go into Philadelphia, upset them, and would not want to be Nick Sirianni the following Monday morning on that one. I do have. I forgot to be saying I do have Chris and Cam Swan's picks for this. As I said before, Swan had the Eagles. He also had just from going back to the beginning, he had the Chargers over the Texans. He's got Baltimore over Pittsburgh. Chris has the Philly, or let me see, did I read that wrong? Chris has the Chargers over the Texans as well. Ravens over Steelers. Bills over the Broncos, and then he's got the Eagles over the Packers in this one as well. But yeah, it seems here we're all, at least on the pod right now, we're all pretty set on the Packers, thinking they can pull this one off. As for the Sunday night game, Commanders Buccaneers, I'll pass it to whoever wants to take this one first. This one I don't have any bets on it. My gut is saying I think Tampa Bay wins. I just feel like Washington, even though they've won their last couple games, they're still not playing that great. If it wasn't for pretty poor clock management in the Atlanta game, Atlanta should have won that one if they just used their timeouts there at the end, getting the field goal range, win the game there. Versus the Cowboys backups, it literally came down to the last play. And y'all know I'm not a big fan of Cliff Kingsbury. I think he's still calling vanilla plays. Jaden Daniels only looking at one read, not really throwing the ball well. Playoffs, obviously it gets tighter in these spots. I don't know if he's going to be able to run and use his legs as much as he would like to. I just stayed away from betting it because, like I've kind of been saying lately now, Baker is like the white Jameis Winston. One drive he will look absolutely elite. The next drive it'll be like, Baker, what are you doing? You've seen that literally in the game versus Saints this last weekend. First half was absolutely brutal. It's like, are the Bucks really about to sell their playoff spot to the New Orleans Saints? And then second half he came out and literally willed them to victory. I think he can pull it off with the Bucks, but I'm just gonna stay away from this one myself. Which one of you wants to take it next on who you got in this matchup?
I love the Bucks. Quarterbacks first start against a quarterback that hasn't made a start, 1937-1, 34%. Rookie quarterbacks since the merger in the playoffs, 37%. I just don't think we can trust Washington. It stops 23rd DVOA, 20th DVOA defending the pass, 23rd DVOA defending the run, 29th per PFF defending the run, 27th in coverage per PFF. Bucks offense is good, 7th overall DVOA, 5th best passing offense, 8th best rushing offense. Commanders give up the 5th most rushing yards per game. How are they going to be able to stop Bucky Irving? Commanders 22nd DVOA defending wide receiver ones. I know people are going to talk about Lattimore, but Lattimore's only played one game. So I don't even know if he's going to be able to. Oh, he didn't go last game. Bulls, one of the better defensive minds out there. Daniels literally can only throw to one side of the field. I think the Commanders are going to struggle because the Bucks are going to take that away. Commanders only beat one playoff team this year, and that was the Eagles in the game when Hurts got hurt, and they play Kenny Pickett closed the game for them. And if Smith would have caught that pass, they would have lost it. Commanders are due for some fourth down regression. They are 20 for 23 this year in fourth downs. That is the most that's the most in NFL history. 10-2 in one-score games. I just think this is going to be a little bit too big of a spot. I think they're going to, get it done. I'll take the Bucks here. They also did Austin Eckler. I did his receiving prop over 18.5. Bucks give up the 5th most receiving yards to opposing running backs, 38 per game. They're 28th DVOA defending opposing running backs per DVOA. Eckler's gone over this 2 of his last 3, 8 of the 12 games he's played that this year. Last game, 4 for 52. I expect with the game flow, they're going to have to pass more. So that means even more snaps for Eckler. So I'm on his over 18.5 receiving yards as well.
Not mad at Kim. Who you got in the Sunday night game?
I got the Commanders.
I know you're big on them coming into the year. You still sticking with it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with it, man. You know how I feel about JD. I feel like he's one of the ones. I feel like it's going to be a shootout game, and it's going to come down to the end. And I feel like JD's going to have the ball at the end, and you just can't trust the Bucks defense. So yeah, that's what I think's going to happen.
Okay, so you got Washington getting the upset. Jaden Daniels in his first playoff game with a playoff dub.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Ski.
man, hey, that would definitely wake the league up if he's able to go into Tampa and pull that off. I mean, Washington already got to feel good just the fact that they're in the playoffs. No one thought that coming in, but if you also add a wild card win to that, man,
Hmm.
vibes will be high in Washington headed into next year. And honestly, that would be one of the quickest rebuilds ever. I mean,
Yeah.
given the whole ownership debacle with Snyder, they switch ownership, and then you're thinking this is going to be a multi-year deal, but they seem to have struck gold with the Jaden Daniels picks, and that everything has been looking good. If they finish it with a playoff win, hey, I know my dad would love that. You're not gonna be happy that I'm saying his team not gonna win, but hey, maybe they still able to pull it off. Chris, in this one, he had the Bucks. He just said simply he feels like the Bucks are the better team. And as for Swan, I believe yes, he had the Bucks as well over the Commanders in this one. And the final game of the Super Wild Card slate, which we just got word today, given the catastrophes going on with the LA wildfires right now, prayers out to everybody out there who's all been affected. But they have moved this game from LA to Arizona Monday night. Los Angeles Rams, who are the home team, hosting the Minnesota Vikings, and got Minnesota or got LA straight up. They're dogs at home. I know obviously now they're not at home technically anymore. But yeah, last week we seen the real Sam Darnold. All the chips on the line, he folded. He's not, the super high caliber quarterback that people have kind of tried to think he, has bounced back to this year. He's had a great season, no doubt about it. But you've seen the regression back to the true Sam Darnold last week versus Detroit. Basically blitzed the hell out of him, played Justin Jefferson straight up and said Sam Darnold beat us throwing to the other receivers, and he could not do it. Failed time and time again in the red zone. You have Los Angeles Rams who are able to rest, get a little bit more healthier. Defense has been playing very well the last month or so. Offense, I know, has not necessarily played the best their last couple games, but you got Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl quarterback. Got Cooper Cup. I know he hasn't played the best, but still veteran, former Triple Crown guy. Puka Nakua, the number one wide receiver there. Kyron Williams in the backfield. You know they're going to feed them. Couple this with the fact the stat Eric gave out earlier, quarterbacks, in their first playoff start, 34% against the spread. Just give me Sean McVay over this one. And then when it's all said and done, I know Kevin O'Connell is a pretty good coach, but there's going to be some questions about his playoff coaching once they lose this game because he'll have two playoff appearances, two playoff losses, one of those being to Daniel Jones in the New York Giants, and now this with the Los Angeles Rams after a 14-3 year, which will be absolutely brutal for the Minnesota fan base. But that's how I see this one playing out.
I love the Rams here. I think the whole thing when we bet sports and everything, we need we forget these guys are guys. They're just regular dudes like us. And when you have a team like the Vikings that were playing for the top seed and lose the way they did, now they have to travel on the road to play a road game for them, which is going to be really hard mentally. I think that's going to be huge. Road favorites tend to struggle, 41% ATS in the playoffs. Key to the game are the Vikings going to be able to create pressure for the season. Sorry, when for the season facing pressure, Stafford 2 TDs, 6 INTs. When facing no pressure, 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Last games, the Vikings had 0 sacks. The whole game plan, get the ball out of his hands quick. I think that's going to be the game plan here. We saw Goff do it last week, get the ball out of his hands quick. I think it's just going to be a death by a million paper cuts. I expect the Vikings to repeat this. The Rams to repeat it. Vikings struggle defending in the middle of the field. That's where Cup and Nakua live. Jones got banged up. Obviously, he's the motor for the offense. If he can't be 100%, I think the Vikings offense will struggle. Rams third best defense in terms of not allowing opponents to score in the red zone. Playing against the Vikings team who are bottom half in the league. So I really like the Rams here. I got them at +1.5. Then I also did Cooper Cup over 41.5 yards receiving. The Vikings struggle covering the middle of the field. We saw that last week against the Lions. Earlier this season, Cup had 5 for 51 against them. Flores stated in an interview that he didn't know Nakua was going to play, and he was shocked that he played, and they're going to look to take him away. And I really think that's what you're going to do. They're going to bracket coverage him. That's going to open stuff up for Cup. So I did Cooper Cup over 41.5, and then the Rams +1.5.
I like it. I like it. Cam, I know I'm pretty sure I already know what you're picking on this one because you've been one of the ones from the jump saying you were not buying in on the Sam Darnold Vikings hype, man. So tell us, you got the Rams. I know you do, right?
Yeah, got the Rams. Like I've been saying, man, we know who Sam Darnold is. He's going to show you who he is, and he's been showing us. And you know, we've already seen this happen before. Like during the regular season, they played the Lions, lost, then had to go to LA and got smoked. This time it's finna they finna get smoked in Arizona this time. Like so, it's I don't know the same thing's finna happen. They just played the Lions, lost, and now they about to play the Rams and get smoked. So, yeah, I got the Rams in this. I think their offense is going to be too much for them. The Vikings may cause a little turnovers or whatever, but I think the Rams can overcome it and win the game.
Yeah, man. I think the biggest loser the last 2 weeks might be Sam Darnold's agent. If they lose this one, dude was looking at maybe 50 million a year. If he doesn't perform well in this and they lose, that opportunity is probably out the window right then and there.
Yeah.
That wraps up Super Wildcard Weekend. I got a couple more bets to share. These are all teasers. One more I had was the Rams +7, Packers +10.5. Paired those together, and then I kind of put all my picks together in a little teaser just to sprinkle on it. Super Wildcard Weekend, man. We got to go all in, all out. They added the seventh seed, gave us 2 extra games. Got to get the extra money. But I got Chargers, Texans under 48.5, Steelers +16, Broncos +15.5, Packers +10.5. Just sprinkle on this if you're filling the picks. I have all these picks on the regular propositions and numbers. Throw them in the 6 point teaser just for a little fun, just in case some of those don't hit. Maybe potentially get myself a little backdoor cover there. But yeah, man, that is how I'm rolling headed into Wild Card Weekend. With that being said, we can now move into the second round. As far as the second round goes, obviously this is all dependent on who wins what and the seedings and stuff. But as for the teams I picked, I have the Texans winning. I had the Ravens and Bills winning. That means the Texans will be headed on the road to Arrowhead to play my Chiefs. And I am so sorry, Cam. At least this time, it will not be as painful as 2019, where y'all go up and give yourselves false hope. Y'all are running into a team on a mission, a quest for the three-peat. Yeah, maybe Tim Settle Jr. won't talk this time headed into the game. But yeah, I think it just sucks for y'all. Y'all are about to get the very beginning of what I think might be Patrick Mahomes' best playoff run ever that we're about to witness. And I think the Chiefs, we don't necessarily blow teams out, but I think we'll win pretty handedly. I'm thinking the score probably ends up around 27-13, 27-14-ish. Maybe y'all get a touchdown late, cut it to like 27-20, 28-21 or something like that. But game's never truly in doubt. We're basically up 2 possessions for the majority of the game. Mahomes doing his thing, about 3 touchdowns thrown, get a couple sacks on CJ. Chris Jones gets the crowd going crazy. I think my Chiefs win that one. I believe everyone here had the same matchup because we all had the same picks in the first round on the AFC side. But before I throw it to y'all, Cam Swan, he also had he had the Chiefs versus, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Chris stuff. Chris had the Chargers winning, so he had the Chargers on the road at the Chiefs, but he had the Chiefs prevailing. And then as far as Swan goes for his second round, first play, he's got the Chiefs over the Chargers as well. You guys have the Chiefs versus Texans. Tell me how you see that one playing out.
I think the Chiefs just destroy them. I just too much stuff. Offense is going to be too explosive. I think the Texans are just going to be happy with that one win.
What
Yeah,
about you, Kim?
same thing. It's gonna be Delta ass. Like it's gonna be painful to watch also. But going to that game, I'm already knowing like what's about to happen. So like this time it's like I'm not even gonna get my hopes up type shit. Like I'm just here to
Just
watch
there
it.
for the vibes. If you can pull off the
Yeah.
upset, great. But if not, it's a great
Yeah.
season. I feel it. I
Here
feel it.
chilling, man.
I feel it. As for the second round in the divisional of the AFC playoffs, we got the Bills, Ravens. Cam has the Bills over the Ravens. Chris has the Ravens over the Bills. As for me, man, like I said, I need this playoff matchup more than I need water. These two fan bases have been the most annoying fan bases on Twitter, besides the Bengals and their, stuff with the whole not making the playoffs recently. But these two fan bases have literally been at each other's necks for the last 2 months over who deserves MVP. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I get it. They are both amazing quarterbacks in their own right. Both deserve the MVP. Both have arguments for it this year. But it's become absolutely ridiculous where they're both forgetting who they are. It's Lamar is the best quarterback we've ever seen, best quarterback in the league. Josh is the best quarterback we've ever seen, best quarterback in the league. Let's have them duke it out to then see who gets the opportunity to then lose to Patrick Mahomes, the actual best quarterback in the league. But as for this one, I think Baltimore is going to go into Buffalo and Lamar is going to get his revenge for that 2020 game. And I just think it's just truly a matchup problem for Buffalo. They do not match up well against the Ravens, especially with the Ravens defense playing way better right now. Back when they played earlier this regular season and the Ravens whooped them 35-10, Ravens still had the worst pass defense in the league at that point. Josh Allen could do nothing with them. I think it'll be much of the same here. And Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry will take that game over, and Ravens will win. But Derrick Henry has an excellent game, and you'll be having the Bills fans make excuse. Well, Lamar didn't beat us; Derrick Henry did. But regardless, at the end of the day, Josh Allen comes up short. He does not get it done, but he gets his MVP trophy, y'all. So congrats to y'all. He's finally got the MVP. But I got the Ravens in this one over the Bills, setting up a Chiefs Ravens AFC Championship rematch.
I think the Bills beat the Ravens. I think it's just going to be too much. Josh Allen, they did lose. This is going to be a revenge spot for Allen. I honestly, I don't know. Like the whole penalty stat I mentioned is going to cost the Ravens sometime in this run. I think this is going to be the one that it cost them. I'll take the Bills here.
Okay, that's fair. What about you, Kim? Who you got in this one?
I got the Bills in this one also. Um, just playing at home, and having Lamar come on the road or whatever. Um, I think actually he'll have his best game, but I think they're just gonna come up short. I think Josh Allen is just gonna do his thing, and I think the Bills will win.
That would honestly be pretty funny if Lamar plays like a really good game and they lose.
And
I
they're
would
gonna lose.
love to see how Twitter reacts to that because that is the grace they've given Josh Allen in his divisional failures. So I would love to see if the tables are turned there. But I am against y'all on that one. So hey, if y'all want to take me up on it, if we do get the Ravens Bills matchup, I'll do a beer bet with both of you, depending on what day the game. Well, I guess in the division round, it wouldn't be the same day as the Chiefs game. So I mean, hey Kim, more than welcome. We could go hit a spot and watch that one together if you want, or watch at the crib. Maybe go live or something. But yeah, I think Lamar gets it done this year. I think he's gonna feel a little bit slighted. I don't think he's winning the MVP, even though I would say he is the MVP this year. But I think Allen gets the MVP. Lamar gets the bragging rights this year with the win in the playoffs. But that sets up the Chiefs Ravens AFC Championship game, man. and I'm just saying it here right now. If this game happens, I will be at Arrowhead Stadium. That might be the literal nosebleeds, top row of the stadium, because tickets are so damn expensive nowadays. But I will be there to see the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game once again. Gotta definitely run that trip back. I went to Baltimore last year to watch us win there. And yes, Lamar, amazing, phenomenal quarterback. It just sucks, man. He's running into the dynasty of his era, the best quarterback of his era. You can say whatever comparison you want, who he is, if he's a Peyton. It's not that Mahomes is the Tom Brady. It's that Mahomes is like the infinity gauntlet of all goats. He's the Tom Brady. He's the LeBron. He's the Jordan. He's everything. He's the best player. He's on the best team. He's the most clutch. It just is what it is, and I just truly think even though the Ravens have a great year, Lamar, had a great year, they still come up short here, and they'll be blaming him and stuff. I don't even necessarily think he'll play that bad again, or not as bad as he did in last year's AFC Championship game, but they'll be criticizing him. But there's no shame in losing to him because you're losing to the Chiefs, man. It's just a different story. The Chiefs headed to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans to complete the three-peat, get it done in Arrowhead in the AFC Championship game versus Baltimore. Y'all would have the Chiefs Bills matchup. I would also love to see that one. If that one happens, I'll be in Arrowhead just the same. Um, and will Josh Allen finally get over the playoff hump versus the Chiefs? I love it. Contrary to the Bengals' beliefs, I don't fear anybody. I don't think the Chiefs fear anybody. So if it's got to be Josh Allen again for the fourth time, I see us winning that one. But let me know what you guys think in that matchup of Bills at Chiefs, who are I guess not anymore. Technically, we're 15-2, but the Chiefs' real only loss this year, of course, came to Josh Allen and the Bills in Buffalo. But this one is back at Arrowhead Invitational, on and popping. Who y'all got in that one?
Anytime I break up with a girl, I always say all good things must come to an end. And I think this is when the Chiefs run comes to an end, man. I just think this is the Bills' year. They kind of found it with a running game. They're leading on Cook a little bit more. I like what they're doing with Shakir. I like how they have Kincaid. Knox can high point a ball in the end zone. Chiefs run has been spectacular, but I mean, I just think this is the game where it just kind of falls apart. I think Allen goes in there and he's going to lead them to the Super Bowl.
Gotcha. What about you, Kim? Who you got in this one?
I got the Chiefs winning that game. I think it's going to come down to the end again. It might go to overtime, but I don't know. It's going to come down to the end, and Pat's going to have the ball, and we all know what's going to happen. I think something like
I
that.
think it would be the most nerve-wracking thing, but it would be the most beautiful result if we played them. The game went to overtime. We scored. We got the ball first. We scored, but given the new overtime rules that got created from our overtime game with them, Buffalo gets the ball and Josh Allen ends the game with the turnover. Because they literally cried for years and years, and then they created that rule coming out of that game, and we're able to beat them in overtime with the new overtime rules they cried about. Chef's kiss. I would love that. But hey, maybe it is the year the Buffalo gets it done. Like Eric said, this team, I think, in Buffalo is really reminiscent to those 22 Chiefs when we got rid of Tyreek, and obviously the whole narrative coming into that year was, oh, the Chiefs are done, like the dynasty, like it's not a dynasty. They're gonna fall off a cliff without Tyreek. And then Mahomes put together his best season ever. Allen's done much of the same. He lost Diggs. Obviously, everybody predicted the Jets or Dolphins to take the AFC East this year. They didn't even make the playoffs. Josh Allen leads the Bills to the second seed, MVP favorite. If he can pull it off, it will be quite a magical run. I just think he's the MVP. Not too many times the MVP wins the Super Bowl the same year. Mahomes did it in that 22 year, but before that, the last person to do it was Kurt Warner back in 99, I think it was, with the Rams. So, I mean, it's not something – they're far and few between. I just don't know if he can get it done. But like I said, Chiefs can get to the, Arrowhead Invitational AFC Championship, I'll be there no matter who they're playing. As for Swan in the AFC Championship, he's got the Chiefs over the Bills, and Chris has got the Ravens over the Chiefs headed to the Super Bowl for that one. Gonna flip it over to the NFC side. As for me, I think we all had two of the underdogs winning this weekend. So we had the Packers and Rams winning. Well, I guess Rams technically aren't they're the underdog against the spread, but they're the home team. But the Packers, being that they're the sixth seed or seventh seed, I mean, they will draw the Detroit Lions. And this one, man, I'm sorry, Eric, and it's not even your fault. It's just the fact y'all will be playing them for the third time, and I think this one will come down to Dan Campbell being Dan Campbell, and I can't necessarily fault him because it's who he is. He sticks to it. I gotta give it to him. He lets his nuts hang in every single spot. He's just gonna go for one too many fourth downs in some crucial spot, mess up the game. Green Bay wins by 2 to 3 points, and then we'll all retroactively look at like, dang, why didn't Dan Campbell just kick that field goal, or why didn't he just punt the ball there instead of going for it and not getting it? And Green Bay capitalizes, and next Green Bay is in the NFC Championship game. Y'all have that same matchup, I believe. So who was this one?
I think the Eagles beat the Packers. I think the Packers cover, but I think the Eagles.
Okay, you got the Eagles.
Yeah.
So in that case, you would have the Rams versus your Lions, I believe.
I have the Rams against the Lions and the Eagles against the Bucks.
So in the Rams Lions matchup, are y'all able to get Stafford again, or
yeah,
I feel like you're
I,
able to get Stafford again?
I think they just got too many weapons. They're not going to be. Rams will be able to keep up offensively, and there's all this drama about this Kelly Stafford and creating drama, going to.
She loves doing everything.
I think it's too much. I think the Lions get it done again.
That's fair. That's fair. What about you, Cam? You did have the Packers, correct, in this one?
Yeah, I did have the
Okay,
Packers.
so you got Packers Lions matchup in the divisional in Detroit. Who you got for that one?
I got the Packers in that one. I just think it's hard beating a team 3 times in a row. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. Just like all these others or whatever. Yeah, I got Green Bay.
Got Green Bay. Hey.
Yeah.
Man, I think let's look at Swan's pick. Swan had the Lions versus the Vikings in his matchup. He's got the Lions over the Vikings. And as for Chris, he had the same thing. He said playtime is over for Sam Darnold and the Vikings. Detroit means business. He's got Detroit headed to the NFC Championship. On the other side of the bracket for me, I would have the LA Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this one. And Tampa Bay, I believe, would be the home team, but I think Matthew Stafford and company would be able to go into Tampa Bay. Sean McVay, masterclass. Puka Nakua tearing up that defense. It would be an all-out battle. Stafford 300 yards, Baker 300 yards. I think it would be a shootout in this one. But I think the Rams able to pull the upset and get to the NFC Championship game. And so for me, I literally have the 7th and 6th seed in the NFC Championship game. And I want to say, I got to go back and look at, I think this is what I predicted. Not the seeding, but I think I predicted these two teams in the NFC Championship game this year on our season's prediction episode way back when, before the season started. I'll have to go double check that, but I want to say that's who I had. And my gut's telling me just stick with it. Packers, Rams, even though no one really believes it. Lions seem destined. Phillies had a great year. Some just is something funky or fluky in these playoffs. I think it's this. I think it's the Packers and Rams in the NFC Championship game. And then, Eric, you have the Lions.
I have the Lions and the Eagles.
Lions and Eagles.
I just think this is the game where Sirianni does some stupid stuff. Lions offensively just are going to have too much for them. Defensive guys hopefully are back by then for them. So I think the Lions are going to go on to the Super Bowl to face the Bills.
Yeah. Lions, Bill. Hey, that's America's Super Bowl. That's what they want to see. That is what they want to see. As for you, Cam, you would have who would you have in the? You got the Commanders versus the Rams in your
Yeah,
next matchup. You sticking with the Commanders still? Jane Daniels to the NFC chip his first year?
no, I
No.
think that comes to an end. I think McVay, like you said, McVay is way too smart to um, be shut down by Dan Quinn or whatever. But I got the Rams in this one. I think it's gonna be somewhat a blowout, but somewhat like competitive. Like I think they can win by 2 scores, whatever. Um, so yeah, I got the Rams in that.
It's fair. So it's for the NFC Championship, Packers, Rams. This game would, I guess, presumably I don't know if it's just the surrounding area if there's been damage to SoFi, but I would think maybe this game is back in LA now at this point. I'm gonna go with the Rams here, man. The Super Bowl we were supposed to get back in 2018 that we were robbed of. Sean McVay versus Andy Reid in New Orleans for all the marbles. I got Rams Chiefs Super Bowl 59. They defend their home turf. They're able to defeat Jordan Love. Game comes down to the final possession. Jordan Love reverts back to Jordan Love, throws a pass off his back foot, intercepted to end the game. And yeah, Matthew Stafford back in another Super Bowl versus Patrick Mahomes.
I got the same exact thing. I got the
That's
Rams.
that's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy. I got
I
the
have
I got
not
the Rams
I
winning.
have not talked to Cam about NFL football in 3 weeks, y'all. I promise we did not plan it.
The crazy thing about it, like I think in early in the year, whatever, I had Green Bay making it, but for some reason, man, it's just something about the Rams. It's something about McVay, man. He's one of my favorite coaches. Um, he's just offensive genius, man. Yeah, no, I think they can. I think they'll pull it off.
That's fair. That's fair. So we both got Chiefs versus Rams. Eric, you got Lions versus Bills. Eric, what's the Super Bowl? Do your
Call me a
Lions get
homer.
it done?
Call me a homer. They're winning it. They're winning it 28-24. Last second drive with Montgomery scoring a touchdown to win it.
Oh, I like it. It's so amazing that he's actually back. That's really good for the team. I think that's gonna bring a much added boost on the offense side of the ball. Jameer Gibbs obviously been doing his thing since the absence of Montgomery, but you're able to bring him back in those short yardage situations. Makes it that much easier for Dan Campbell to go for him. It's not like he's gonna hesitate anyway, but it just makes it that much easier having your 4th and 1 back in the fold. I like it. I would definitely be rooting for y'all if that is the matchup. But there's Josh Allen would be the one person where it'd be like y'all might win the Super Bowl and people still might try to vote him in as the Super Bowl
Yep.
MVP just because they love him so much. But I definitely like that outcome if that is the matchup for Super Bowl 59. Bless you.
Thank
But Cam, you got the Rams versus the Chiefs. Don't piss me off, bro. No, I'm just
you.
kidding. Who you got in this one, man? McVay, Andy, Stafford, Mahomes.
Bro, I kept going back and forth between this because it's gonna be a tough game right here. I don't know, man. It's gonna be high scoring. That's all I know. I think it's gonna be very, very high scoring. The Rams they have to, they're gonna have to put up points because I don't think they're gonna be able to stop Pat for real. So yeah. Um, I got the Chiefs, man. Hey, look, I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. Repeating or whatever. Um, I think it's Pat is going to be too much for the Rams. This might come down to the end. Should be like a very very great Super Bowl. I feel like very high scoring though, a lot of points, like a lot of points. So
That's fair. That's fair. Well, man, we started this pod 2 years ago. For the last 2 years, I've been right. You could call me a homer, or you could just say I had the vision, I had the foresight to tell y'all the Chiefs would go back to back. I'm telling y'all right now, man, it's destiny. It's gonna piss every single fan off in the NFL that is not a Chiefs fan because it's gonna be rigged. It's gonna be a cheat. But the Kansas City Chiefs will three-peat. Mahomes will solidify himself. I don't care. I know Brady's got 7. If Mahomes pulls this off, he's the GOAT. He's gonna do it. It's gonna be his best playoff run yet. And I'll tell you what, for all the talk that's happened all year about the offense ain't this, offense ain't that, they can't score 30 points. The offense is gonna be humming. Hollywood, D Hop, Travis Kelsey, Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and Xavier Worthy. This will be finally the first time that the Chiefs don't have to scare us in the Super Bowl. We don't have to be down 10 points. Chiefs are going to win this one 35-24. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw 4 or 5 touchdown passes, 300 plus yards, flawless game. It will be undisputed. And then people are going to look really dumb because the narrative all year has been, oh, he's playing so terribly. Josh Allen is the best quarterback. Lamar's the best quarterback. Burrow is the best quarterback. Chiefs are scared of the bingo. Chiefs are this. Chiefs are that. Chiefs are the worst 11-1 team, the worst 12-1 team. Chiefs are the worst team ever to three-peat. The only team ever to three-peat. It is happening. You heard it here first. Over the Los Angeles Rams in Super Bowl 59. Greatest NFL dynasty ever cemented there. And the next year, hey, it's open back up the league. Someone else can finally win themselves a Super Bowl. But I'm sorry to the other 31 teams. The Chiefs are going to do what has never been done before. And we'll go from there. Travis Kelsey going to ride off into the sunset. Taylor Swift retire. He's not going to play no more. And then Mahomes will enter the next phase of his career where people start to doubt him. Oh, because he doesn't have Travis Kelsey. He'll never win again. But he'll eventually win again. But this first little dynasty stint, this is how it's cemented right here with the three-peat over the Rams in New Orleans. Cannot wait. That is my 2024-25 NFL playoff predictions. Cam, Eric, thank you for providing your predictions. Now, that would be the end of the episode, but I got a little special treat for y'all. Want to stay tuned. Eric, I don't think you've ever been able to be on for one of these, or maybe you have. The one time you were on. Have you ever been a part of LJ's Ladder? I can't remember.
No.
Okay, well, I got a special one for you. We had to come out with the ladder for the playoff edition, LJ's Ladder. Haven't been able to give it to you the last couple weeks, with the break and everything, but now we're in 2025, headed into these playoffs. We got an NFL Playoffs Ladder edition. So without further ado, we are going to kick it off. Eric, hope you enjoy Ladder Leadership. It's been talking, all week, looking at the playoff matchups, looking at what's going to happen here and there, and this is what we've come up with. All right, y'all. So props to LJ Ladder's leadership. They had the foresight. We were putting these teams on the eliminated tier all year long, even before they were mathematically eliminated. We were right about every single one. We told you from the very jump, San Francisco, Cincinnati were not making the playoffs. Miami was not making the playoffs. Seattle, even though they looked good at certain points, they were not making the playoffs. Arizona, the up and down with Kyler Murray, not making the playoffs. And Atlanta ended up flaming out. Tampa Bay takes the NFC South. All these teams eliminated, do not make the playoffs, are not a part of the Final 14. They are not on the LJ Ladder tiers. First one, franchise belief. Congrats to these franchises. You seem to think you found the quarterbacks that truly give you the best chance moving forward and are your franchise piece. Now, I get it. It's just a rookie year. given the example of what CJ happened this year, it's not guaranteed next year will be as great as this year. But all these teams feel like that they found their franchise piece they can build around this moving forward. And Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, and the future is bright. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but they made the playoffs this year. Props to them. Next one, Scooby Doo. Y'all know how every Scooby Doo episode ends. They find the villain, they take their mask off. Well, this week, Sam Darnold's mask will be taken off. Oh, look, it's the real Sam Darnold, the one from New York that was seeing ghosts and throwing the ball 10 feet high to his receivers that are 5'10". It was a great year in Minnesota, and it sucks it has to end this way. But Sam Darnold is not the guy. He is who we thought he was. He's not going to show up. He's not going to get this playoff win. And hopefully McCarthy is what you drafted him for. But Sam Darnold, your run ends here. Maybe you did enough to get paid somewhere else, but it won't be in Minnesota. But thanks for your contributions this year in the 2024 season. Next rung, Hell's Kitchen. Now, I know Hell's Kitchen is usually really good with Gordon Ramsay, but Russ is in the kitchen right now, and he's cooking and he's burning shit. It's not good at all. Stop letting Russ cook. It's not going to end well. I think, they can play the Ravens stuff. I don't see them winning. And Russell Wilson, I think after this year, it's career backup time. He won't be a starting quarterback for anybody any longer. Steelers flamed out once again. And Mike Tomlin, seat might be a little hotter because I don't know how many of these 9-8, 10-7 seasons you can keep having where it's like, oh, he wins. He's got the winning record, and you don't win a playoff game. You haven't won a playoff game since Big Ben back in, I think it was 2015. It might be time for a change there in Pittsburgh because you're wasting away great defenses year after year, and you're wasting away TJ Watt's prime. I don't know how much longer he can put up with this, but it is Hell's Kitchen literally in Pittsburgh with Russ behind the wheel. Next rung of the ladder. If ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. Chargers, it's now or never, man. You have your coach. You have your franchise piece in Justin Herbert. Every year of his tenure, we've all had to hear all these excuses. Well, if he had this, if he had that, he's got the coach you want. He's going into Houston versus a banged up Houston Texas team that is limping into the playoff. There is no excuse. Win the playoff game or not. Put up or shut up. Do not charger this up. You have to win this game, Justin Herbert. You have to win this game, Chargers. This is all you have to do. You can win this game and lose to the next round versus the Chiefs or whoever else you might end up playing. But you have to win this wild card game if you are truly going to keep pushing that Justin Herbert is the top quarterback in the league. If he doesn't, there is no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. You just did not win. No excuses. Everything is in his favor this weekend. Get the job done. It's that easy. Next run, steps to success. CJ Stroud, amazing rookie year coming into this year. Bit of a sophomore slump. Bit of an offensive coaching problem. Defense, doing their thing, but the offensive line can't keep CJ up. This is just the steps to success. Super Bowl window is still open. It's still early. It's only his second year. So it's not like time to hit the panic button. But it's also a reality check that shit does not come easy in this league. And just because you had a great year to start off doesn't mean you were just going to easily be able to replicate that. But I think it'll be a nice little, learning point for the Texans and CJ Stroud. They'll be able to bounce back from this next year. But given the injury luck this year, given the way the offensive line is played, given the way CJ's kind of slumped, this just isn't your year. But like I said, it's just the steps to success. That's what Giannis said. I know, Cam, you like that one. Steps to success for your Texans on LJ's ladder headed into wild card weekend. Next rung here, Baker or bust. Is that simple. Buccaneers will go as far as Baker can carry them. If Baker can play absolutely amazing, Buccaneers can end up in the NFC Championship game. If he, plays like the other Baker, turning over the football, Bucs can lose in the first round versus Washington this Sunday night. It's truly up to Baker. He carries them. Defense is all right, but they're nothing, to be scared about. Offense, it's Baker or bust, throwing to Mike Evans. McMillan's kind of come on late. Bucky Irving, obviously a nice dual threat running back. But Baker truly has the keys and truly controls this Buccaneers team destiny. Baker or bust for that one. Next rung on the ladder as we keep moving forward here. No in between. The Packers are either losing this game to Philly or they're probably headed to the Super Bowl at the very least. The NFC Championship game. There's no in between. They're gonna either play their absolute worst or they're gonna play their absolute best. That's how it goes. Jordan Love last year came out the gate swinging versus Dallas. Then the next game came out the gate swinging versus San Francisco till he choked it away. He did choke it away with some boneheaded turnovers because that's just how he rolls, throwing off the back foot. I know, Eric, you don't like that, but it's truly no in between. And I think, possibly leadership thinks possibly they could have a deep playoff run this year as the underdog, as the 7th seed, but that is yet to be determined for it. But we'll see with Jordan Love headed into this weekend. Next rung, rekindled flame. Stafford, the old man. Some have said he's needed to retire. Some have said, this Rams team, their window was over. They obviously went all in years ago. They got the Super Bowl. They got what they wanted. And it was kind of, a rebuild because they got rid of so many draft picks. But yet here they are in the playoffs, NFC West champs. They've got a pretty favorable road if they can just pull off the wins. Sam Darnold first up. Then possibly maybe a revenge game on the road at Detroit for Stafford. Then in the NFC Championship game, who knows who you can find. But at that point, you got a 50% chance of making it to the Super Bowl. And if they do, it will be like they've rekindled the flame, reignited the flame from that 2021 year where they were able to win the Super Bowl in their own home. This time will be in New Orleans. Can they win it? We don't know, but we feel pretty confident that the Rams can maybe, pull off one of these Cinderella wins en route to the Super Bowl with Sean McVay. Next rung, busted pipes or diamonds. Y'all know what to say. Pressure either busts pipes or makes diamonds, man. And for these two teams, it's all the pressure in the world. Lamar, you got every accolade in the book. There's nothing you can't do out there on the football field. But when it comes to the playoff time, it seems like there's truly nothing you can do on the football field. Prove us wrong. You keep telling us you're not worried about no MVP. You just worried about getting that ring. Well, it starts now. You got Pittsburgh, a team that has historically in your career been a pain for you. You don't perform well against them. Now you get them in a playoff game at home. Don't, fellas, show up. You're either going to be a diamond under the pressure or you're going to busted pipes. Eagles, Nick Sirianni, all the pressure in the world is on you to win. That is what Philadelphia wants. They want wins, nothing else. It does not matter that you just had an amazing season. If you do not win in the playoffs, all that goes out the door. And you will possibly be looking at having to find another job if you do not have a deep playoff run this year. So we're about to see what the pressure creates for Philadelphia or Baltimore headed into these playoffs, but it's a lot of pressure. Can they rise to the occasion? That is yet to be seen. Next rung, excruciating excitement. Both these teams are so excited because it feels like this year is finally the year. Detroit, obviously, went 20 years without any real playoff success. Last year, finally make it back. Make it all the way to the NFC Championship game. You lose. Potentially not knowing if you can make it back this year. Word to Dan Campbell. That's literally what he said after the game last year versus San Francisco. You never know if you can make it back to this point. Granted, it's been an injury-riddled year, but you are still looking like you are primed to make a run at the Super Bowl. But if you don't, it's going to be very excruciating because, damn, when do we get back if we can't get it now? It seems like everything is perfect. Even though despite the injuries, we're still here. Who knows if we can make it back to this point another year? Because there's parity in this league. Josh Allen, Bills. Can you finally be the one to break the curse, Josh Allen? Bills Mafia, media, they've all hyped you up to be the chosen one. Best quarterback in the league. You're the MVP this year, finally. Have some playoff success. Because contrary to popular belief of how great you are, Josh Allen, you're still a measly 5-5 in the playoffs in your career. And you've only got one divisional round win. Prove someone wrong. You got to be different. You got to get over the hump. If you're the best player, if you've got the best team, as people have been saying all year long, show up in the playoffs. That's when the best players do it. Right now, Lions, Bills, you feel like it's your year. You're so excited, but if you lose, it's going to be very excruciating pain because you truly don't know if you will make it back, and if you do, when will that be? And last but not least, atop the rung, man, like we said, this is the first dynasty run for the Chiefs. The 91 to 93 Bulls will be the first team to three-peat. Patrick Mahomes going full Jordan mode, putting a stamp on. Don't ever question his greatness. Lamar Allen, Burrow, you're good in your own right, but you are not me. It is clear levels of this. Patrick Mahomes thought he reminded y'all last year after the back-to-back. Y'all said y'all wouldn't disrespect him no more. Started disrespecting him again. I guess he's gonna have to remind y'all once again who your daddy is. Amazing playoff run in route. It's on the way, ending in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Mahomes hoisting Lombardi once again. Fourth Super Bowl MVP. What can you say now? Don't ever put Lamar, Josh Burrow in the same combos as him until they actually prove it when it matters the most. And when it matters the most, Patrick Mahomes is literally the best playoff quarterback we've ever seen in NFL history up to this point in his career, and that will not be changing this year. Chiefs are the 91 to 93 Bulls, and they sit atop LJ's ladder headed into wild card weekend. Eric, swinging it to you first. How do you feel about the ladder? Any changes you would make? Any teams you would drop? Any teams you would move up? Floor is yours.
I mean, I think there's 4 teams that can win it all in my eyes. And they're the top 4 seeds: Chiefs, Bills, Lions, Eagles. I think they're all on the same tier. I think everyone else is just kind of there going into the playoffs. I would think there's some teams that are happy they got there. The participation award, with the Commanders, Broncos, even though I think the Texans are going to win, I think the Texans are in that bracket too. So that's kind of where I would do it. But everything else, I mean, looks good to me.
Cam, any questions, man?
No, I mean everything looks on point. Looks good.
Okay. Yeah. That is LJ's ladder headed into the NFL playoffs. It's been a great ride getting to this point. So excited to finally watch some playoff football and, just sit back, relax. Yeah, man, it's going to be a great time. We got Super Wild Card Weekend. Hoping to see, all the picks we just gave y'all cash through. If you watched this all the way through, tell the picks. Give us a follow, sub to the channel, go follow us on Twitter. If you don't already, follow our guy Eric at the ad on his screen, Etoff21 Sports on Twitter and YouTube as well. He's been killing it, not only in just the NFL, he's been killing it in college basketball too as well. Just told him earlier this week he won me some good money there. So if y'all want some free money, I'm telling you, if you don't want to get it here, go to him. He's got you covered. Eric, want to say anything about your show, where they can find you at and what days you come on?
I have a live show on my YouTube channel every single Tuesday, and then I do an audio podcast that comes out on Friday. Check me out. I always appreciate coming on, talking with you guys. NBA, NFL, you name it. I'm always here. Just let me know, and good luck in your bets, and hopefully I can win my beer bets against you guys this weekend.
Yes, sir. Eric, we appreciate you, coming on. Cam, obviously good to be back on the pod, first one of the new year. Good luck to your Texans this weekend. Good luck on any bets you got. Let's have a good one. NFL Super Wild Card Weekend is a go. We are finally here, man. And the show we're back in action. We're back rolling for 2025. I Need It Sports Podcast. Your favorite kids for the neighborhood signing off. Bryce, Cam, good friend Eric. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. I need it.